All right, folks, I'm going to do a quick run through if you had trouble on the examples on 210 using the math class. I'm going to go through a couple of these. So first one, the circle area, it's pretty straightforward. It's a short one. Implement get area and get circumference using the methods of the math class. So if you open up, you first start and see they already had this built in. You can jump to assignment here or run code. So they're going to call get area and get circumference, and they make two different objects, one called cup and one called hat. Not real sure why, but if you jump over here to the other class, this is circle.java, you can see basically create an object. That number inside is a radius, and it's a double, and then you're supposed to use math.py and math.pow to do an area formula. So if you already have an object, you can do this. So you basically need to say area equals pi r squared. Well, let me check if, it's going to return a double. So you have to start with return. Oops, down here. You don't want to forget that or it's going to give an error because this is not the word void. So it's expecting a double to come out of this. So how am I going to do pi times r squared? You can't just write pi. You have to write math.pi. And if you didn't know that, you could do like using Java how to use math.pi. Right? So if you ever forget, here's Stack Overflow. Right, Stack Overflow is a pretty reputable place. There it is, math.py. So I kind of did it right. And there's math.pow too. So you're going to do math.py times radius squared. And on that one, we should be able to use our radius variable that was created up here and started here. So you're going to say radius, math.pow, and then math.pow, you'd say Java math.pow if you didn't know, and you can look it up in here. They kind of give examples on this if you want to use it. There it is, math.pow A and B. So here, you don't really need an object for it because math is a static class. So you can just do math.pow, and the first number is the thing you're raising the power, the comma there, and then the second thing is the power you raise it to. So similarly, let's try this one. Return math.2 times math.py. It's capital because it's a static final. It's a final variable times radius. Let's see if that works. We hit run code. Oh crap! Rookie. Let's try that again. So it's doing this over here. It creates an object with a radius of 5, and then it calls get area, which is the function we just wrote. Since it stores its own radius, and then the other one there. All right, cool. Oh, they hard-coded that in. That would have been even cooler otherwise. All right, so that's that one. Let me jump to the next one. Oh, then you can hit submit code, and it'll tell you, oh, look, it did all that stuff. Boom. And then you continue. Okay, so the next one is this one on the unit circle. So you can use sine and cosine and all sorts of stuff like that. So let's just hit let's go because I can always bring this thing up right here under assignment. So we're going to do the important values on the unit circle. So if you've done pre-calc, this should seem familiar. So take a second and read that. So basically we're going to do this 3 different times for the angle 0, pi over 2, and pi. I won't do them all, but I'll at least get you started here. So this is for 0 radians. It's nice to put a little comment there. So for 0 radians, we first need to make this, this thing called angle that I can change in the future for my other two. So this was a little, weird to get started. So we're going to start off with our angle worth 0. Later on, we can change it to, the other two when you do the next one. So basically, you need cosine and sine. And I'm kind of following this thing here, right? You're going to do double cosine. Now, in the future, we don't have to say they're doubles anymore. You can just use them. Maybe I'll shorten it to cos, which shouldn't be said that way, but math.cosine of angle. So now I can copy paste these things. Same thing for sine, right? Now what's crazy about these is they leave ridiculous, long decimals. So we need to chop them up. And if you look right here, a good way to chop it up is to move them. If I want to round it to 2 decimal places, I move it 2 decimal places by multiplying by 100. Then I use regular old round, and it gets it to, a single, or it rounds it to the nearest whole number, and then I move it back by dividing by 100.0. So that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to take cosine, which will be a crazy number, and I want to round it. So I need to multiply it by 100 and round, and then divide by 100. You can do that all in one step. You can say, okay, I'm going to do math.round on cosine times 100. And it'll do that first, right? Because order of operations, it's going left to right. And then you can divide it by 100.0. And that'll do both of these steps, actually all 3 of these lines in one. Oh, yeah, all 3 of these lines. This one, this one, this one. Then you do the same thing for sine. So if you wanted to round it 3 decimal places, you would have done 1,000 here. But I don't want to. Okay. And you're going to system.out, print line, and oops, we're going to do just a blank string, so I don't have to turn these things into strings. And then just for formatting, we're going to do a colon, because they want it in this form, 0 degree radian, colon, and then cosine and sine. I guess, you could be crazy and put in like the parentheses, but that's going big time. So put a space there, and then this is just formatting stuff. There's my cosine variable from right above, rounded to 2 decimal places. Then we can put a comma in there, and a space, and then sine. And then semicolon, or it'll yell at you. You're going to kind of do that. So that's one of them, and then you can do it again for pi over 2. The only difference is you just say angle now equals, and then math.pi, divided by 2. And then you can kind of do the other thing. Just remember, in the future, you don't have to do, you don't have to declare these as doubles, because they've already been declared. So you'll do the cosine, you'll do the sine, and you'll do your rounding thing. Okay, so basically you can copy paste this thing. You just got to fill in the other one, then you'll do it for your last one. All right, so hopefully you can do that, and we'll get to the last one. Okay, I want to just show you something here on the racing one, which is this one. If you ever have code that, I already started on this, but I want to show you guys how to do it. If you ever have code that you want to reset, like what if I made a mistake or I just want to show you guys again, you go up here to More, you go to History, and then see this reset code, boom. You hit reset code and it's there, boom. Okay, so check out the assignment. It says most of race car has been completed for you. That's right here. You can look at this class. You got an acceleration, a name of a driver, a constructor that takes acceleration and driver. The only thing you got to do here is make compute time. And I think that's it. They wrote a two-string method. So if you just print out an object, it gives you something. So the main method, you are supposed to create two race car objects. Okay, that's pretty easy to do. So you got to start with race car, and then name it something like car 1. You know, you can name it whatever. And then that's the variable I'm storing it as. And then we got to call the method. And the method over here takes a double for acceleration and a driver name. Now up here, we were supposed to make two acceleration things. So kind of jumped ahead there. We need to make a double, because it's going to be a double in here. Acceleration 1. And for that one, we're going to say accel1 equals, and if we want to round it to 2 decimal places, I don't know if it says that or not. Yeah. We want 2 decimal places for these. So I don't think it said you had to, but why not, right? We just did it last section. If I want to round a random number, remember, if I just wanted to make a random number, you go math.random. Now, the problem with that is it makes a number between 0 and 1. So I guess that's all they wanted us to do. If I want to round it, I just put this guy in parentheses. Now, I need to round it times 100 if I'm going to take it to 2 decimal places. And then I divide by 100.0 afterwards, and it will round to 2 decimal places. So you're going to do that for the first car. You can pretty much copy paste this for the second car. And it makes its own one. So I just need to change that to accel2. Okay, so for race car 1, we're going to have accel1. And then we're going to have a name for it. So let's say we call this car 1. Oh wait, it's a driver name. Driver 1. Okay, so that'll create an object. And then you kind of do the same thing here. All right, let me do a little of this before, not to waste time. All right, now to do the finishing time, we got to go in here and do this, which returns a double. So we need to make the finishing time thing. So let me do that real quick. All right, so to do the time here, we're going to do make a double. We're going to return that in a second. So we need the time to be this thing here, the square root of 2 times d over a. So math.square root, and then 2 times d, which we already have in the problem, distance, divided by accel, which is in here too. So accel's already there. You got to use that just like it looks. And then we're going to return this thing. We're going to do round it, because it asked us to the 2 decimal places. We're going to take regular time and we'll go times 100 and then divided by 100.0. So I'll come back on a different video and finish this up real quick. All right.